and the definition is not what you think. Hi guys, it's Eric from Hong Kong based in Germany. I've been investing since I'm 17 years old for almost 20 years. I want to give you guys alternative perspective about investments related to Asia. Last time I talked about delisting risks of Chinese companies listed in the US, for example Alibaba and BYD. This time I'm going to cover further information about the crackdown by Chinese government on technology companies, especially with some sources from China instead of just the Western media. There's some very intriguing information about Didi as well. If you are new to us, I've made a number of videos about Alibaba, BYD and Xiaomi and the likes, so go to the link above to check out my channel. The latest news is that there's yet another new topic for crackdown by the Chinese government. Before it was antitrust behaviors, for example with Tencent, with Alibaba, with Didi, or data security or even national security issues with Didi and other Chinese companies that lately listed in the US. And this time, guess what? Illegal children content. And the definition is not what you think. On the 21st of June, BBC reported that a number of apps in China are being fined like Kuaishou, QQ, Weibo, Taobao. Okay, you may say that we never heard about them. But Taobao is owned by Alibaba, QQ is owned by Tencent, Weibo is owned by Sina and together with Kuaishou, all of them are listed in the US. And each of them has hundreds of millions of users. In typical Chinese factions, we have little information about what exactly they did wrong, nor do we know about the exact fines they received and the deadlines to correct them. And the illegal children content is not exactly what you think. Of course, there's pornography and erotic content, etc. But it also extends to, for example, banning children influencers, especially those promote extravagance or money worshipping. So this is much broader than most people in the West would expect. I'm not surprised by this given the political atmosphere in China at the moment. All officials would find every single way for them to demonstrate that they're following the direction of presidency in cracking down of monopolies and antitrust behaviors. The high-profile crackdown on Didi is certainly politically charged. According to Hong Kong Economic Times, they will receive worse treatment than Alibaba because they defied the will of the government and went on IPO nonetheless. Global Times, a mouthpiece of the Communist Party, also said that they cannot tolerate private companies to have more data than the state. It is pretty explicit, right? There were also some reports in Hong Kong claiming that Didi wanted to get around the regulators before the IPO by using guanxi. Literally means relationship. It's a very Chinese way of doing business by getting around the rules through building good relationship with someone. And there are 200 full-time staff in Didi working in government relations. According to sources of those Hong Kong media, Didi is actually not compliant in many of the cities with the licenses, for example, but they are still allowed to operate because of guanxi. Didi's fate now is really subject to variables beyond numbers. Even guanxi cannot save them. Well, that's why you need to have alternative perspective about investment related to Asia. So remember to subscribe now and click the bell button next to the subscribe button so that you're not going to miss out. Okay, so back to the topic. Didi is also being sued in the US for misleading investors. Obviously, they should have warned investors before the IPO or even stopped the IPO if they knew that they were being investigated. After all, there were some reports saying that the CAC, the Cyberspace Administration China, asked them to change their maps 20 times. Of course, the sources also said that it's actually not Didi's fault because this kind of communication was communicated through phone calls informally with little clear legal basis. So the law case would not be a clear win for Didi and will be looming around at least for months to come. Also, it would damage the reputation of Chinese companies listed in the US. Even more interestingly is that on the 16th of July, it is reported that 7 government agencies decided that they would station in Didi's office try to find out if they have any wrongdoings. This including CAC of course, but also the Ministry of National Security, the Tax Bureau, and even more interestingly, the Ministry of Natural Resources. So for sure they're going to dig out something wrong. So fingers crossed for Didi. So what are the implications for other technology companies? As you can see, the battlefield has broadened a lot, from antitrust behaviors to data security, even national security, and then now with illegal children content. All the officials will be jumping on the tech companies in order to show that they are following the party line to fight the big guys, and this is what presidency has said. So the coming 1 or 2 years, there will be a lot of turmoil. The game would never be the same again because there will be much more limitations and competitions in order to limit their market share so that they will not challenge the authority of the government. Also, there will be much more restriction on the data collection side, which is essential for the business models of this kind of technology companies, no matter in e-commerce or ride-hailing or social media. Their business model will be under severe challenges. IPOs by Chinese companies in the US will be a rarer and rarer instance, because China is steering them towards Hong Kong, which it has more control due to geopolitics. You can check out my videos on the link here so that you understand more of the background. So do you want me to continue to cover China's crackdown on technology companies? Leave me in the comments below. If you want to continue to hear alternative perspectives about investment related to Asia, remember to subscribe now, even better clicking the bell button next to it. It will be a great motivation for me to continue making better videos for you guys.